Today, I want to talk a little bit about the stories that used to hold me back. I used to tell myself stories, especially when I first started trading about a decade ago and then later investing, that really didn't serve me. They were very negative stories. I used to tell myself things like, I'm too young to make trading work, right? I used to tell myself things like, I don't really make that much money. Trading probably won't work for me. I used to say things like, hey, I'm in college, or before that even, I'm in high school, and so I probably can't make trading work. And the funny thing about believing a story like that for me is that, as soon as I believed that it wouldn't work for me, then I would take less action. I'd say, maybe I'll still look at it, but, I'm not going to get into as many trades. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to really dive in and figure out how to make it work. And so if you're taking less action, right, then it drives less results. I wasn't taking enough action. And so then my stories that I was telling myself became self-fulfilling prophecies where, I don't believe it'll work for me, so I take less action, so it doesn't work because there's not enough action to drive results. And the funny thing is that as soon as I switched my story, then that all changed, right? It went from, this won't work for me, I have all these excuses, to, yeah, of course this can work for me, that's ridiculous. Let me figure out how I can actually make it work in my own life. And as soon as I did that, right, I was able to come up with a trading plan, and those stories that at the time seemed so important, but, looking back seemed kind of ridiculous, they just kind of faded away. And I said, all right, so instead of being worried about what might happen, I'm just going to say, all right, let's figure out how to make it work. Let's follow the right strategy. Like, let's come up with a real plan. And then, right, as soon as I did that, it started driving results. And, I don't say that, I don't share my story just to, hey, look at me, this is so cool. But I don't want you to fall into the same trap that I used to fall into of letting yourself tell a negative story that holds you back from what you really can be and what you should be doing to create the life that you want. And as soon as I switched my story, right, I started, my accounts started growing. I found out all these super cool trades, and I made a plan that just lights me up, and I'm so excited to trade with my plan. And, it was kind of cool. I even was able to finish college with no student loan debt, in part because of my investments, and I was able to pull money from there and be able to do college and still figure it out and come out with a better financial foundation. And what's really cool is that ultimately it set me up to, one, be able to wake up excited every day about trading and investing, and hey, I'm, making money in my sleep every night. Here's how it works. And it also set me up on a path to really create the life and the financial future that I want to. And the biggest turning point, or one of the biggest turning points at least for me, was just switching the story that I was telling myself and saying, of course I can do this. Let's go figure out how.